If you own a truck fleet, you will know how annoying it is to have one of the trucks refusing to start in cold weather. When starting an engine, we take a certain amount of energy from the battery to crank the engine up. Once the internal combustion engine is running, the vehicle's alternator slowly recharges the battery to have it ready for the next engine start. However, in very cold weather or when it's necessary to leave the lights on for a long time with the engine off, it may be that the battery will not have enough juice to restart the engine. A bulletproof way to avoid this problem is to install in your vehicle a device that acts as a momentary battery, exclusively for the starter. One that is not affected by cold weather or by leaving the lights on. This device looks like an ordinary battery, but it works quite differently, and its sole purpose is to operate the starter motor. This device or module contains ultracapacitors, also called supercapacitors, which store energy produced by the alternator and which will never be used to operate the lights or anything else other than the vehicle starter. It should be noted that this video is not a tutorial, and you have to follow the instructions in the manual that comes with the module. This video is intended for awareness of the possibility to finally solve this nasty problem. Take as an example a vehicle with 3 batteries in parallel. We have numbered them as 1, 2, and 3. The 3 batteries are connected by a thick cable joining all negative poles, usually a black cable, which is also tied to the vehicle body. Also, the batteries have a thick cable joining all positive poles, usually a red cable. All electrical accessories are powered by this cable. When the engine is running, all 3 batteries receive voltage from the vehicle's alternator and are charged, so they can power all electrical components, and they can also be ready to start the internal combustion engine whenever required. To install the ultracapacitor module, the last battery is removed, in this case battery number 3, and its cables are temporarily left disconnected. Before installing or making any connection to the ultracapacitor module from the battery cables, you must remove and discard the protection wire connected between the pole identified with the letter A and the pole identified with the letter C, as shown by the white arrow. This is very important, otherwise a short circuit would occur when connecting the module to the battery cables. As we see, the ultracapacitor module has 3 poles instead of just 2, as batteries do. The pole marked with the letter A will be connected to the thick black wire, as you would do with the negative pole of an ordinary battery. The pole marked with the letter B will be connected to the thick red wire, as you would do with the positive pole of an ordinary battery. With this connection, the current generated by the alternator goes into the module and, through a special internal circuit, it keeps the ultracapacitors charged, and this charge cannot go back to the batteries, but can only go the negative side through the pole marked with the letter A and its positive side, the pole marked with the letter C. Now we have a sort of independent battery which stays charged at all times and is only used to crank the internal combustion engine. The cable going from the batteries to the starter relay has to be disconnected from the relay terminal and must be carefully insulated without cutting the thin cables attached, which feed the vehicle's electrical accessories. Electricity for lights, radio, and other accessories is taken from the original batteries only, through the thin wires left in the cable we just removed from the starter relay. Right now, there should be no connection at the input terminal of the starter relay. A voltmeter connected to the input terminal of the starter relay should not show any voltage at all with respect to the vehicle body nor to the positive pole of the batteries. A reading other than 0 tells you something is wrong and it should be checked by a technician. If the previous step is okay, proceed to connect the input terminal of the relay only to the pole marked with the letter C in the module. This cable is shown in orange color. Now, every time the internal combustion engine is cranked, the starter motor uses the power from the ultracapacitor and never from the batteries. Following the instructions in the module's manufacturer's manual, the first charge of the internal capacitor must be initialized. Normally, all you have to do is press a button on the module so that the ultracapacitors will be charged in a few seconds. Once this has been done, the system must be tested by starting the vehicle. Due to the density of the ultracapacitor's charge, the starter will typically operate briskly, causing a vehicle to start faster than usual. Once the internal combustion engine starts, the ultracapacitors will be quickly charged and will be ready for the next crank-up cycle. So, even if the normal lead and acid batteries in the vehicle are partially discharged, the charge stored in the ultracapacitor will start the engine rapidly every time. Thank you for your attention to this general information video on ultracapacitors. I hope it has been useful to you, and please subscribe to my channel.